it's January, it's almost the end of January, and everyone assumes January is big gym business for Grant. If I meet someone and they say, what do you do for work? Well, that's a hard thing to answer, but a lot of times I'll tell them, well, I own some gyms. And as I've said that since I opened the first one in 2017, they'll say, oh man, you must be killing it. It's January. And that's not really true. We've never crushed gym sales in January for strength training. And the reason is because strength training is hard. And people that do New Year's resolutions on a whim are people that don't enjoy things that are hard, or so I have found. Or maybe they just know exactly what they're going to get. We're not selling anything sexy. We're not telling you you're going to have abs in 6 weeks. The place isn't filled with female instructors in sports bras with microphone headsets and yelling at you. It is normal people lifting weights to get stronger and better themselves. And so there's never really been a rush. Now, I will, with that said, to be 100% honest, we do always do a deal on intros Black Friday through Christmas. And, usually we have a price that this is what it costs to come in for a one-on-one with a coach. And instead, in the month of January, we do some clinics and we drop that price to a third. I could do the same sale in June if I wanted, and I could have the bump there. But in terms of people knocking down the doors to join, it doesn't happen. With that said, what does happen a lot in January is a lot of online inquiries, a lot of people wanting to change things. And one thing that we have launched over the last 2 years here is a Slack channel and a paid Slack channel. And it is designed for people that want to have access to coaches, strength coaches, a community of lifters, and they want to have someone they can talk to, and they want to program if they're an intermediate. And that is kind of who we tend to gear this towards. Hey, I've gotten strong. I understand that linear progression works for, a few weeks, a few months if I'm a new lifter, and now 5 pounds isn't working every time. What do I do? So, hey, come in here. Here's a program you can follow. You can ask questions. And so we do that. So we add in an option. It's $29 a month. You can join our Slack. We have some bots in there that are super helpful. You can post a photo of your food and it'll tell you the macros. You can ask it how to warm up for a 405 deadlift and it'll tell you how to do it. We've fed it a lot of code and it works really well. I say all that to say we've gotten a lot of new people in January, which is amazing. I love every single one of them. And I say this, and there a lot of them probably are listening and they know this and they'll say, yep, Grant's telling the truth, is when they come in, I say, hey, tell me, your lifting background and your main motivations for joining. And the lifting background usually goes something like this. There's really one of two tracks. Oh, I used to lift in high school, or college. And then, I had my first couple kids or work got crazy. I haven't lifted in about 10 years, trying to get back into it, looking for a conjugate method, looking for an intermediate program, looking for X. Or number two is, oh yeah, like I found a program like Strong Lifts or Starting Strength. I ran it for a few months. That was about 2 years ago. Haven't lifted since, looking for an intermediate program. And my answer is always the same to everybody. I say, hey, I'm happy to put you in our intermediate channels. We have 3 different ones. We have Grant's program channel, which is designed for busy people that want to work out 60 to 70 minutes per session 3 times a week. We have a hypertrophy, strength and hypertrophy channel that includes a bunch of accessory, and we have a competitive powerlifting channel. I'm happy to add you in all of those. But here's what I think you should do. 1, watch this video. What is the starting strength novice linear progression? And it outlines workouts A and B. Squat, press, deadlift, squat, bench, deadlift. And then watch this video, how to start starting strength. Hey, on your first day in the gym, go in, work up to a moderately heavy set of 5 and stop on the squat. Do 3 sets of 5 on the press, stop. Work up to 1 moderately heavy set of 5 on deadlift, stop. Take a day off. Next day, take that same weight you did on the squat for 1 set of 5, do 3 sets of 5. Alternate with the bench, moderately 3 sets heavy of 5. Deadlift, go up 5 from the day before. And what I tell them is run this for 6 workouts. If you ran the novice progression a year ago, you're not ready for an intermediate program. You can go on an intermediate program where you're moving submaximal loads and you can waste time, or you can buckle down. And I'm not telling you to gain 40 pounds and train like that for 6 months. I'm not telling you to get to the point where you're missing reps, grinding them out, hurting your hip, straining your knee, and getting frustrated. I'm telling you, if you haven't trained in a while, just do the basics and get your strength numbers up. Now, what I will say, everyone that has joined our Slack, and I've told that, most of them are doing it and they're getting it up. And then now a lot of them here, maybe they're 3-4 weeks into their membership, they're getting moved into channels and they're making progress. And I get it. Adding 5 pounds on a basic program can get boring. You want to see a little more plan to it. You want to feel like, it's a little bit more complex, like you've paid your dues. But if you've never done that process or if you haven't done it recently, I'll tell you this right now. If something happened to me, I don't know, the Marine Corps Reserve called me up and I was deployed into a place with no weights. And I did what I could to stay in shape, but I could not resistance train heavy. When I come back with 10 years plus of weight training experience, intelligent weight training experience, I am not going to jump into some type of conjugate method. I'm not going to jump into the Texas method. I'm not going to jump into something crazy. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm detrained for 6 months. Let me get my numbers back up. Let me make the easy gains, low hanging fruit. Let me get this stuff that's readily available to me. Oh, now I have that back. Okay, now I can go back in. And if you've actually run the novice linear progression in the past and you are now in need, to run it again, it's going to go better because you've built that strength before. You're not able to perform there right now. And depending on your deload or your detraining, it may still take a while, but it's going to go better. Mentally, it's going to go better because you're like, I've squatted 260 before. Whereas the first time it's all uncharted waters. But that's what I would tell you. If you're maybe your New Year's resolutions, or you're looking to start them in February because you missed the boat on January and you're looking up all these complex and crazy things, you don't need them. Just start habit building. That's what we're going to talk about when we talk about weight loss. Habit building. Start by showing up 3 times a week. It's so cliche, but it's so true. You got to show up. So that is my talk on that and my thoughts on that. If you want to join our Slack and have me tell that to you personally in DM, please do. Link is in the show notes, or go to thestrength.co, click media, scroll on the bottom, help with coaching. And we are glad to help you. And Grant Bot's pretty funny. Would you say Grant Bot's pretty funny?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's got some humor in there.